It takes years to build an empire. They're founded on painstaking sacrifices, crushing defeats, and glorious victories.
God help me, and I won't measure!
They're forged by unforgettable moments and acts that transcend into legend.
Stewie's on his own, but look at the time! Look at the time, there's 7 seconds to blow the bomb! They're trying to build pyramids, but there's no more play! Stewie's won the round, we're going to overtime!
But empires are far from perfect.
Do you still like playing Counter-Strike?
No, dead game.
Oh, I gotta f this map, f this FPL, f this.
Wait, they actually are cheating. Dude, this game, I hate this game.
God, Gaben, you suck so much at making video games, it fucking hurts me, bro.
As unrest spreads among its people, so do rumors of revolution. And from these whispers has emerged a usurper to the throne.
You really think Valorant is really good? It's incredible. It's one of the greatest games I've played in a very, very, very long time.
A true contender, backed by its own history of conquest, offering the promise of change.
In the smoke, just on the other side, he's able to get one. Looking for the second, and is gonna have to back up, gets challenged, gets the second one as well,
Dicey.
and he gets the reset. He's looking for the third. Dicey does it. Oh my gosh!
But this challenger's not interested in borrowing the crown. They're playing for keeps.
미안해서 어쩌나?
Before we talk about the future, we have to talk about the past. Because for nearly as long as there have been esports, one tactical shooter has dominated: Counter-Strike. For many fans and future professionals, playing in crowded internet cafes and in hotel ballrooms, the game was a love affair from which they never really recovered. As esports grew, Counter-Strike followed. Global Offensive became the premier first-person shooter in esports.
One of the biggest things about Counter-Strike is just how it's always been evolving, but yet the fundamentals of it haven't really changed at all. And it's community involvement that I think has been so big to the growth of it over time.
But games and players' expectations were changing.
Do you still like playing Counter-Strike?
No, dead game. I just don't believe that they're not updating Counter-Strike Go. It needs change. Change
Why
is good.
though?
CS is undeniably dying, and yet players are still getting paid like 40 grand a month. It's fucking crazy.
If you were a player who wanted the same slow-paced tactical feel of Counter-Strike, but with more content and a more communicative developer, there was nothing really out there. And if you were a new player looking at playing your first tactical shooter, starting Counter-Strike with no prior experience was an intimidating prospect.
I got underneath you, Con. Door. Ah, Colin right there.
What? Oh my god, dude.
But in 2020, Riot Games finally gave both of these groups an option.
미안해서 어쩌나?
Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive, it has precise gunplay, it's set on a beautiful near-future Earth, and it has a lethal cast of characters, each with their own unique abilities. This is our take on a competitive shooter.
The road to get there had been long. Valorant was, according to game director Joe Ziegler, over 6 years in the making. But even as the first glimpses of gameplay saw the light of day, the questions emerged.
So it's like, it looks like CSGO with Overwatch Ultimates, right? I think?
Guys, the gameplay gives me a feel between CS and Overwatch, and the environment gives me a feel of in Realm Royale for some reason.
So a lot of people are commenting on the style of art. Anyone else kind of get it honestly reminds me of Team Fortress.
At first, it was unclear exactly what the game was. It had abilities.
For B. Junge, alle 5.
It had different agents.
So, the thing about the Molotovs in this game
is if you're playing Phoenix, your Molotovs hurt your teammates, they hurt your enemies, but they heal you.
One behind at least.
Imagine me having to wait to tell you guys that we don't have to worry about the Molotov from ourselves. You know what I mean?
It had a res?
Watch this, watch this. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Revive me, Jet, revive me. Jet, revive me. Jet, revive me, use your ulti, Jet. Revive me, Jet, revive me. Jet, you can now use your ult, Jet. Please revive me.
Was this CS or was it Overwatch? As the discussion raged, there was nothing to do but wait until players and streamers could get the game in their own hands. But as Riot revealed more, it was clear that the game formerly known as Project A got its genes from Counter-Strike. They had brought Volcano, a legend of CS map design, on board to help.
I'm Sal Grozo, and I'm a game designer working primarily on maps.
We're definitely going with a slower, more methodical approach with a lot of the movement in the game.
But we also want those outplay moments where somebody does something incredible and they could win a 1v4 if they're aiming well enough. And we think that those two things going hand in hand, you know, where positioning, ability usage, and individual mechanical skill combine to create something special.
The agent's abilities sometimes replace traditional utility like smoke grenades or Molotovs purchased in CS. In other cases, they added completely new functionality like vision that CS just never had. There were other similarities too, like a bolt-action sniper rifle conspicuously called the Op. For the first time in decades, Counter-Strike had a global competitor that was trying to do what it did, but in a more modern package.
I don't know.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Come on, let's go! I think they're hitting B.
Coming up, going on.
One more. 1, 2, 3. Hallelujah! Hallelujah, baby!
Headshot. No match.
Dude!
You're actually
Dude!
To the pro players and streamers who played Valorant before it went public, the game was already in a great spot.
It's just a bunch of and bunny hopping, and everyone's walking. That's what it is. It's a snooze fest, but I'm addicted and it fucking sucks.
You really think Valorant is really good? It's incredible. Like,
Yeah,
I can't say anything in detail, but I can tell you it was it's one of the greatest games I've played in a very, very, very long time.
In week 1 of the public closed beta, the game's popularity skyrocketed on Twitch with 1.7 million concurrent viewers, a record only surpassed by the League of Legends Worlds 2019 viewership. But even as hype around the game exploded, Valve took notice and took action. It seemed like Valve was clearly aware of Valorant's rising popularity, but some players were a little skeptical.
So here's a question. How long has the SIG been f***ed? Okay? And you're telling me 3 days after Valorant comes out, we're f***ing hauling ass now all of a sudden? Huh? We're just kicking it into high gear and fixing something that we hated forever? Okay. Alright. Yeah, I see you. No one's falling for it right now, brother. Okay? You better hope Valorant fails.
Valorant's official release was set for June 2nd, 2020. And while offering keys to the beta as Twitch drops surely helped, there was also a feeling that the game's popularity meant it could be more than just a colorful second fiddle to CS. It could be a true competitor.
Potentially gonna spot him, give him away. Dicey in the smoke. Just on the other side, he's able to get one. Looking for the second and is gonna have to back up, gets challenged, gets the second one as well.
Dicey.
And he gets the reset. He's looking for the third. Dicey does it. Oh my gosh!
That feeling led many in the CS competitive scene to consider where their careers were headed, and to pick Valorant as their next step. Big names like Hiko, Scream, and Nitro eventually took the opportunity to start fresh in a new game that shared plenty of similarities with the old one.
So my expectations from Valorant
It's gonna be really high, of course, since I'm leaving CS and I've been playing CS my whole life, and CS has given me a lot. So I expect Valorant to give me something as well. It's really interesting for CS players like us because we've been playing CS for like 15 years and everything is always the same, and it has been the same for all the time. So having a new fresh game is really good for me, at least. It really gives me motivation, and I love playing that game, and it's really addicting.
Other names like Wardell made their way to the game and found that they could shine brighter here than they ever could in CS, especially in North America, where the region's best talent had been mostly gobbled up by its tier 1 organizations.
So like I knew like playing this game in beta and then getting really good at before anybody else before this game blows up would have been the best opportunity for me than to rather stay in CS and just like wait for something magical to happen. If Valorant didn't go well, then I could always go back to CS, right? So then that's what I did.
And for some, like Brax, it was a fresh start, a chance to create the career that his ban from official Valve CSGO events had eliminated. As Valorant gained a foothold worldwide, it was clear that Riot's approach to making changes and adding content was very, very different from Valve. But even at this early stage, Valorant was not without its own controversies.
I just got spammed. Bro, we all... Is he cheating? He's cheating.
Yes.
Okay. Dude.
The game's anti-cheat system was one of the first. Counter-Strike had witnessed several of its own cheating scandals over the years, and they had damaged esports orgs and even hurt entire regions.
When we went and scouted in India, and obviously it turned out a shit show because of that fucking cheater, Forsaken or what his name is, fucking loser. Put on that brand and to fucking do that, like he is lucky, like that I wasn't fucking there.
Riot's solution for Valorant was Vanguard. The system's kernel-level driver upset some players, particularly as early versions of the anti-cheat interfered with programs that controlled cooling and fan speeds.
For those that don't know, Riot's anti-cheat has kernel access to your computer. For those that don't know, that's bad. Without getting into the specifics, that's very bad. I get why they wanted to make this incredible anti-cheat because games like Counter-Strike get a whole lot of hacks around them, and they want it to be as competitive and tight and as honorable and honest as possible without people cheating their way to the top. But I think they went way too hard here. I mean, this anti-cheat has access to all your shit.
But even after those issues were addressed, even after several years of work and the driver level access, some people were still able to cheat.
So piece by piece, they'll work this. Rare, taking out Good Steve. We spoke about Good Steve's performance, and okay, traded back in kind for Riot as well.
With agent abilities taking the place of utility, balance has also been a challenge. It's not enough to just nerf guns and utility, Riot have to balance the entire agent, abilities and all.
You know that line? I'll flash Dude, holy dude!
Last player standing.
Dude! Holy I'm blind as shit! I'm blind as shit!
And while some agents have become the de facto pick, others are still struggling to find a niche, even after buffs. There have been other stumbling blocks. With Valorant's slightly slower movement, the AWP has become far more oppressive than its green predecessor, a thing that the balance team is already trying to address.
The game needs to have more ways to counter oppers, because right now, ops are way too powerful on the defense side. And like I'm saying, teams are double, sometimes even triple opping because it's literally impossible to push off all the angles. There's not enough flashes, there's not enough smokes, there's not enough utility.
Personally, I think ops should be like kind of a risk versus reward kind of thing. So if you make it like 5, maybe like 5.5, then it might be more of like a, oh shit, do I buy an op? Because if we lose this round, I might not be able to buy next round. And then we'll really be fucked.
While Valorant got off to a hot start on Twitch, Counter-Strike has retained its spot among the rankings, at least so far. It's still early days for Valorant esports, but the tournaments hosted so far, like the Riot-backed Ignition series and now the First Strike qualifiers, have provided exactly what viewers want: an opportunity to see how their favorites stack up in the still new competitive landscape, and to see the game's meta evolve. That means a new stage for big names.
And also Dicey, Eco goes for double, and now it's all down to him. This is gonna have to be a quad kill for him to pull things through, keep them alive. He's able to get the triple, and he doesn't know where the last player is. Alexander, he's creeping. These guys.
Ring around the rosies. Ring around the rosies, and he's creeping out. He doesn't know. He's got no intel at all.
Oh, and he's using the Hunter's Fury, and that's a good way to beat the time, and he makes the
No
connection!
way.
Clutch Master Eco!
A second chance for CS players fighting to prove themselves.
Wardell will try to back away here, not before taking down Shanks, and maybe now he likes his chances after that one. 2 players left, dropping into the side. Oh,
no!
He's so insane!
Oh, no!
Wardell!
Oh my God!
How on earth has he done that? He's got plenty of times for the defuse. It is pedestrian here for Wardell.
And a first opportunity for a bright new generation of stars.
This is going to be a mess. The operator misses. A drone is trying to get some damage in. Luckily, Cutler's there to sort of build him up. But Bjork gets completely missed. He gets free. He just snuck by. This could be a crazy ace. What the hell is Bjork doing?
Sensing an opportunity, some of the biggest organizations in esports have already stepped in to support those players. Without concrete, long-term plans for Valorant's esports future, it's still difficult to say exactly what the future holds. But there's optimism from some of the game's biggest fans.
Valorant's just gonna hit, and it's gonna hit hard.
Yeah, once LAN start pumping out, dude, it's gonna grow, it's gonna explode.
It has the perfect recipe right now. If Valorant nails the timing of coming to LAN and like tournaments are popping off, it's gonna blow the up even more than it already has.
And what we know for sure is that, for once, there's a new competitor in tactical shooters. And whether you buy a Vandal or an AK-47, it's making both games better.
Oh my God, the 13. Oh wait, no, I got this. They're coming short. That's me. This is me. This is Wardell. I don't fucking lose these. Open up the fucking gates. Ah, fuck! No! No!
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.